Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Women's Fittest. Sarah Ford Bishop is back with me today after a long Olympia weekend.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. It was so much, so much to watch. No, it's so fun though, always. Like I did have like a little bit of FOMO because I didn't end up going to the expo and prejudging like I had talked about. I was up in the air when we first recorded, but at the same time, like Saturday, like Bikini didn't go on until like 2 o'clock or something like that for prejudging. So like I would have been like, oh, like dragging a little bit, I think.
I know we talked about it briefly about how neither of us, it's not about attention span. It's just like I feel unproductive if I'm just watching something for a long period of time and not doing something else.
Yeah, no, like last night, like the finals, like the awards for classic, I sat on the couch to watch, but the rest I was like doing laundry and like folding laundry or like working and had it in the background. Yeah.
Yeah, I was at the gym actually working out and I just watched on my phone and
Yeah, like would check it.
yeah,
Yeah.
in between sets. So it was great. And I think I do have a newfound love for some of the men's division, which we're not going to get into too much, but classic was beautiful.
Well, what was really cool too is what you told me. I didn't realize that, but Ryan Terry was who won, and he rose the rankings like by a one placement like every year over the last 8 years.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Like that's
It's
so cool.
I know it gives me chills because it's like, okay, this is what bodybuilding is. Like, it's really, really neat when you see some people who are just freaks in their overnight success, but the tenacity of somebody who's doing year after year after year after year after year after year after year just to get a little bit better. Yeah. He's had 9 Olympia stage whatever, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But the last 8 of them were like 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, and I respect these men's physique guys. Some of these guys have some massive quads. So
You can tell like in the board shorts, yeah.
yeah.
It
So
doesn't really hide it. And they're like stretched out. Yeah.
yeah, and they're like the shorts are really tight and they're not like how you see sometimes of the NPC guys and you're like, oh, little sticks sticking out from under.
Right.
What is your are you like a big like leg person with like guys if you were to pick
I guess I am a classic because I'm like a shoulders. Like I like shoulders. So
yeah.
I
Yeah.
could look past stick legs, but I would accept like not like quads popping out of shorts
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
the shoulders were there.
Yeah. And a big back.
Yeah.
Big back that's sexy. Go for it, guys.
There you go. Productive podcast. Tell you what we're interested in.
We're human. What can we
Yeah.
say?
Whatever.
Whatever. So, anyways, the women, let's move on to the women since that's exactly what we're supposed to be talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some surprises, mostly not, I would say.
Yeah. You know,
Um, Go ahead.
well, I was just going to say when you get somebody, I mean, a lot of times, like Mr. Olympia, there's been 18 Mr. Olympias over 40 years. So it's like when you get somebody who's good, they usually ride it out until, somebody newer and better knocks them out. And so, yeah, not a lot of surprises for some of them. You want to let's start with the women's bodybuilding just to say, I mean,
Yeah.
Victoria Shaw is going to be unbeatable for a long time.
Yeah. Just like knockout. Like, wow. Like, you see everybody, like, that's like, I think the winner, like, for a lot of these classes, it's like, oh, like, they look great. They look great. And then the winner comes on and you're like, oh, yeah, like, game over.
Yeah, I think it was 2014 Phil Heath when he walked out, and it's just kind of that, yeah, it just punches you in the face like, oh, this is definitely your winner. And a lot of times you know, they're vying for the second, third, fourth, and fifth place spots is where things get shifted around a little bit, or where new people come in. But so Drea is very feminine. Her features and her face are very fine. She moves with grace and elegance and a little bit of sex appeal. And she just carries, the muscle is distributed perfectly. Like
Yeah.
it's literally perfect. Her posing is perfect. And, you know, and she's not like super young either. I think she's right around 40. So, I mean, who knows, she could be carrying this for a long time. So we love her. Michaela Aycock got 6th, Mayla Ash got 7th, and Angela Yeo 2nd. So I mean, I don't know, I think Drea is just the, you know, she'll just be it for,
She's the standard. Yeah, for sure.
she's the goat. She's the goat. So very, very, very happy with that. And I think she's going to be unbeatable for a long time. All right.
Women's physique. So a little back and forth here. So back to Sarah being the women's physique champ this year. So Natalia got knocked down to 2nd. And Natalia won last year.
Yep.
So that was, you know, I would say, you know, I would love to have, if any judges are listening and want to come on, because I don't understand the criteria of all of the divisions as well. Like some I understand well, some I don't. So yeah, I mean, I think I do think Sarah's delts were improved this year. I feel like we talked about that, and like looking at the pictures, like she like 2022, they looked a little flatter.
Yep.
At least for the NBC News pictures. So I feel like that was definitely improved.
I think that some of it is a posing issue as well. I think her arms are up a little bit too high, which then flattens out her shoulders.
Yeah.
And so if she would bring them down and maybe even a little bit more forward, she probably would have a better, it would just display a little bit better. But, you know, that's kind of what I think. I honestly thought Natalia was the winner, but when you and I had discussed a little bit, we just kind of talked about how the people that they picked for many of the categories were maybe not what you would have thought was the best in your eyes or my eyes, but what meets the criteria best. And I can appreciate that, keeping that under wraps of like, you know, this is what the criteria is. And even if you look like better, now we're moving out of the criteria. So maybe you're too big or whatever. So I don't know if Natalia, she did make improvements. She looked much more bubbly, but you know, I could also see her as a mid-sized women's bodybuilding.
Right. I think she might have been, that was, I think what we had said, like we were texting back and forth, just like a little bit too big, too muscular. And I do definitely feel like, you know, they're cracking down on that.
Yeah. I mean, which is good because we want the sport to evolve, but we want it to evolve better, not just bigger.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, bigger poses all these other health risks, which we've talked about as well. So Brooke looked awesome. Brooke knows that her back poses are her weak poses. And so glutes and back have always been, is what she's like slowly working on. Her front shots are perfection. I think she looks absolutely amazing in all of her front shots. Probably, I don't know, I don't want to say better, but she definitely holds her own in all those shots. And I like that she's not too big. You know, I mean, obviously she's been training for years and years and years to achieve this physique. So it's not like it's been an easy to come about or anything like that, but
No. Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't know so 3rd place was Zama Benta. I don't know who that is.
I don't know
her history.
I'm gonna quick look on is it ZAMA?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and she kind of came up out of nowhere as well. Oh, yeah. And I mean, obviously look good. She has a really, really great physique, obviously has to be in the top 3, but I don't even know how she placed last year, but she did, push Brooke from 3rd into 4th place. I did text Brooke and I talked to her briefly, and hopefully we'll get her on the podcast just to talk about it a little bit, but she had a really rough prep. She had some family issues and things just didn't go as smoothly as she wanted to. And she said that she probably wanted to quit every day over the last 6 weeks. And that was, and that was when she was away from home too, in her like resting phase. So a lot going on. And I mean, that makes a huge difference as well. So, but she'll keep going, they'll all keep going. And I think you're going to have your top, those top 3 or 5 are going to constantly be, going back and forth. But yeah, I mean, Sarah, she looks great. It's not that she doesn't look great.
No, I think it is. I mean, she is less like, they're kind of setting the standard of, what they want to see as per the criteria.
Yeah. Not quite as much muscle.
Yeah. Fitness was sad, but like, I was happy for Oksana, coming back and winning. I forget how many, this was like, she's won before, so I don't know what
5.
number was for her. This was 5.
Yep. Yeah.
Sad Missy was actually in 1st place after the physique round. Yep. And as always, she looks like a superhero. And then her routine, very shortly into it, like the first couple of seconds, I think it almost looked like her knee buckled, like it underneath her.
Yeah.
So that was really sad. Like she was, had to have help getting off the stage. So she didn't finish. I saw like something on like buys and tries that they don't know the extent of it yet, but she did make a comment that she'll be back in whatever division. So I thought that was, I mean, just athlete mentality, right? But still, sad to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Missy always is, she's a powerhouse. She does have the best physique, like hands down, always wins the physique round. She looks like a superhero, like you said. So she always wins the physique round for sure. Oksana has a place in my heart. I just adore her. I don't think anybody performs like her on stage, but it's only my opinion because I just like her style of performing. Like Missy puts on great performances. Ariel puts on great performances. Like Oksana oftentimes does a softer, more romanticized performance.
That's what I was going to say. It's like almost not cheerleader. That's not the right word, but like kind of that versus like more graceful, like almost like dance ballet kind of components like in it.
Well, and she does have a dance and ballet background. And so, and you see some of this too with Jacqueline Baker, who I really love her performances as well. Hers was beautiful. And I think a lot of times gets overlooked because she's always first and people are just like, just getting settled into it. But Jacqueline's performance was, I don't know. It was probably my favorite, even though, I mean, Oksana did a beautiful job. Hers was a lot of, she just does crazy stuff, the 1-arm handstand pose with a sword. Like that's nuts.
Yeah. And she, well, the routines are judged, like 2/3 of the judging is the routine. So, I mean, it definitely matters. And I thought, so 2nd place, Taylor, she's new. And she also has that more like acrobatic kind of, super talented, like very cool to watch. Definitely rewatch the routines if you can.
Taylor is like, and she's very fluid. Like there's always a difference. Like you said, tumbling and cheerleading is a little bit different. Taylor has a fluidity. So she has some grace to her, her routine as well. I didn't realize who she was. I actually, you only get certain people coming up in your Instagram feed, and I do follow her. She has well over 1 million followers because her page is insane. She does crazy, like balancing on one leg, wrapping her foot around her while she's on a block. Like she calls herself a hybrid athlete. And, I don't know how old she is. She looks 14. But I don't know how old she is, but it's crazy to think second in the Olympia in your first Olympia. So she's got to be super ecstatic. Like, who wouldn't be, right?
Right.
I almost feel like there's no pressure if you're going in your first time.
Yeah, it's just have fun, right? Enjoy it.
Yeah. So that was really great. Ariel always puts on a wonderful performance as well. So Oksana, Taylor, Jacqueline, Ariel, and then Whitney. Whitney ended up hurting her shoulder right at the end of her performance as well, but she was able to finish. So
yeah, you could see her like at call outs, like, kind of the way she was carrying her shoulder. It was like,
yep.
I don't know if she dislocated it or what.
Yeah.
It looked like she did, and it was maybe popped back in, and she was kind of like,
Yeah, I think that's exactly what Oksana said, that it popped out, because she was saying that when she did her speech, that Whitney's shoulder popped out. So I think when it pops out and she got it back in, but then obviously there's still pain from that. So she couldn't do a lat spread. She was just holding it. So,
yeah.
But Sarah, you and I had this discussion as well, because initially Dave Palumbo had put up a video saying he was kind of like, this is really bad because the guys, they do the men's open prejudging at the end of the finals for Friday, and they have to wait until 10:30 before they go on. And most of them are and should be sleeping at that point. And it was a kind of a big boohoo fest for the guys. And we were talking about how the categories should be set up a little bit better, and like maybe the guys should do prejudging in the morning and at night, like,
Same
I don't
day.
know. Yeah, like same day.
Yeah.
But
and maybe separating the fitness.
Yes.
Because, yeah, I mean, when you're that dry and, potentially depending on what kind of peak you had, like,
Yeah.
very depleted, and just more at risk for injury. So like just having more time to eat, and
yeah, because they can be softer for the routine, because the fitness judging is over. And so
right.
doing fitness over 2 days is probably a better, would be healthier for the athletes. And like you said, I don't know how many people are doing actual dehydration anymore, but the depletion is there. And if you can get a few more meals and some sodium, your body is not nearly as, like, the cortisol isn't running nearly as high, and it's just a lot more.
Have an extra night of sleep, right? Like before the routine. Yeah, that would be
right.
I think helpful. But I mean, then they would have to pay for another day. I think that would be the move, would be to have a 3-day Olympia.
Sure.
Almost, and spread it out somehow.
Well, when we were talking about bikini, I was saying we should add another category that looks more athletic. So then we could have a 3-day Olympia, because we have another women's category.
Right. But then that's what wellness, I think, is kind of supposed to be,
Yeah. But I think the wellness, I think people underestimate. I mean, you and I know, but these wellness girls, their lower half, if their upper half matched, they would be women's bodybuilders. Their lower halves are insane. Like, that is, it's an unbelievable amount of muscle they have on their lower.
It's just, less lean.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Well,
do we want to do wellness next, or figure?
Let's talk about wellness. Yeah, for sure.
So our same 1-2 as before, and kind of as predicted, with Francielli and Isabel.
Yep.
And I mean, I think like Drea, like, as long as she continues to show up, like, she definitely is like the criteria. I mean, from her like conditioning, like the level of muscle, like no striations, you know, quads, like athletic, like, you know, shoulders are there, but not like women's
Overpowering.
physique level as far as the shoulders go.
Yeah.
And she's beautiful.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think she's just it. Isabel is really cute, and something that I had said to you, just the slight differences I noticed that she has a little bit longer torso and shorter legs. And so she doesn't quite have that fluidity that Francielle has with her physique, but it could have gone either way, because I think honestly Isabel has a little bit larger lower half and it has a little bit more of a disproportion. So Francielle has the correct proportions, obviously, because they picked her. And I like that they, you know, that we have somebody to set the standard. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was close, like a point. Like it wasn't like I think it was pretty close.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Nope.
see if I can pull up the
You're,
scores, but
yeah, you're absolutely correct. Rand placed fourth. Cassandra was sixth. Marissa Andrews was ninth. I think Marissa could have been a little bit leaner. I think she looked pretty soft by the
yeah.
but I love her stage presentation is fire. Like, what did I call her? So her hair was like, I liked that she's glam, but it's like softer, not so sculpted. And I said she had like beach hair. I said she looked
Oh, yeah,
beach.
like beach freak. Yeah, beach freak was the terminology. Yeah. Like Baywatch, but like you're an athlete and
Yeah.
shredded.
Yeah. And you still
Not
got,
too shredded.
yeah. And you still have kind of the glam makeup, but it's not too, like, it's not too perfect. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah.
She looked awesome.
And third place was a newcomer,
Yeah.
Elise. I didn't know really who she was before
Nope.
this, but she snuck into that third spot. And then then Rayanne came in fourth.
Yep. Elisa Alcantara. Oh yeah. And I remember when she walked out, because she's a little bit taller. And yeah, I was thinking, oh, like she has a great physique. So completely different look than Isabel and Francielle, but like, yeah, she fit in there just perfectly, and I loved her look. I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
So, and it's nice to have a brunette in there, because I felt like Bikini was leaning a lot more towards brunettes, and then Wellness, they wanted blondes, and I wondered if it was a
Yeah,
conspiracy.
yeah. And Tiffany, who was also her first time, she came in sixth, so that was cool. Or no, seventh. Yeah,
Yeah.
seventh.
Whose wife is that? Or is it
Terrence.
Ruffin?
Well,
What's that?
Terrence Ruffin for
Yeah. Yeah. She's so cute. I just love her. And one of the few who doesn't have implants too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, not
She's
that
young. She's
what's
like
that?
23. I think she's young.
Yeah. Yeah. You can tell you can tell that she looks young.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, wellness was it was really fun. It was, I mean, all the categories were amazing. Let's move on to figure.
Figure, Sid, is just is it Jilko? You know who I'm talking about? Who does the videos?
Oh yeah. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it either. I think I'm pronouncing it right. But like the whatever 4K, 5K, 10K, whatever it is, those videos, like watching all of their posing is just incredible. But like watching her especially, and then he pairs it with like the music, and it's just like so clear, like her flow, like everything is just incredible.
Yeah. She's the queen, she's the goat. You know what's funny is like, yeah, so this was another thing, because we had talked about how like Lola could be Miss Figure Olympia, but Lola is a little bit more sturdy. She has more muscle to her. And I think that if they picked Lola, now they're setting the bar in a different, to somebody be bigger and more muscular. And so I like that they're like, nope, this isn't exactly what we're looking for. And Jessica, although not as muscular as she has been, I think in the past, I almost feel like she's a little bit softer, is still a little bit more muscular as well. So Sydney was first, Jessica Reyes Padilla was second, Lola was third. Cherish Richardson is, I think, newer. And
yeah, she was definitely someone we said wow about, like texting.
yeah. In her posing, honestly, she could have been a Sydney clone. Like her posing was exactly the same. You know, and her physique was very similar as well, which you are going to see similar physiques with figure, I think, once you're in the top 5.
Yeah, like that V taper. Yeah. So that was cool to see though. So she was fourth. It was the same 1, 2, 3 as last year.
Yep.
Same order, but then a new fourth place.
Yep. And Natalia Sotero moved up. I think she was like 7th last year or something. And so she was 5th. And I love her physique.
Yeah.
She's Brazilian, and she's got the glutes. The lower half of her is really, really nice. Really nice. Rhea was 7th, and we talked about her a little bit. I'd like to hear, maybe I'll end up messaging her. I feel like she's put on a lot of size. I don't know if it is too bubbly for, I don't know, but I do love her physique. I was wowed when she walked out because it was noticeable improvements. I'm curious what the judges think about that.
Yeah, I feel like maybe a little bit of a balance issue, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. So, but yeah, and a lot of the competitors were not, we missed people this year. Like different girls were out from figure. I do want to say that, I want to say in Oksana's defense, because there's been a lot of comments too, like, oh, imagine winning because the winner got injured. And it's like, well, she didn't complete her performance. And so that's how it is.
Yeah, we don't know. Like, yeah, Missy's routine looked like it was starting off great, but who knows,
Right. She could have bobbled something, or, I mean, that's what happened with Ariel last year. She's like, I was so nervous to be on the Olympia stage. She had quite a few bobbles from her, her Arnold performance, which was perfect. And so, she ended up getting like 3rd or something. Ariel got 3rd last year in fitness. So, you never know until it's done. You can't judge who is going to win. Yeah, for sure. Bikini, we had some good discussions about.
I am happy with the bikini winner.
Yes,
I think the placings overall, but like I said before, like bikini is hard because it is like that conditioning you have to get like just right. Like you have to have the nice full glutes, but not too dense and big. And like definitely no like graininess, or like you can't be too hard, that sort of thing. Someone asked me, they were like, do you think like bikini, like the winner like was Jen? So this was her 2nd win for the Olympia. She lost last year to Maureen, came in 2nd, and then bumped up again this year. But I think the girls that were more muscular were in that more like, it was kind of inconsistent, but like they were in the lower placings. Like Laura Lee, for example, came in 3rd, and I think it's because, or no, 4th, and it's because her glutes were too big.
Yep. And same with Elisa. And the funny thing was, Sarah and I like a more muscular physique. And so
it's hard, right? It's because like I love muscle, and it's hard to like kind of be like, oh, but this is not it. Yeah.
And that's not what they want to see. But you and I were like, we're like, okay, our opinion is different than the criteria. We like Laura Lee and Elisa both. Have a little bit more glute development, and it's just,
I also really like Amy, who came in 6th, and she's also
Yeah, a little bit more. But there were some of the girls too that were soft, and it was just like, yeah, you can't be, bikini has actually become a lot more, I think, distinct, and it's tough. And I had mentioned too, because what happens is if you are too developed and too muscular, then you do get lower placings. And then, this is kind of where a new category forms. But I mean, it would take a lot for Elisa and Lauralee to get into the wellness division. Like that'd be a huge, so I almost feel like something mid would be nice. Because I think of, and I had mentioned this to you. So Justine Monroe is one, if you want to look her up, was one of my favorite bikini competitors who had too much glute development, almost like diamonds in the back of her glutes, for her glute ham tie-in. And then same with, it's Natalia Malo. She won bikini in 2013. And then slowly slid down the ranks because they were like, she's too athletic, she's too muscular looking. And,
Yeah.
she had a career as an influencer and whatnot. But like, I like that look because it looks worked for,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Ashley is Miss Consistent and was third place.
Yeah.
Um,
My only critique of Ashley is her stage presentation is, I don't think it's great. It's very
yeah.
choppy, and she seems, I don't know. It doesn't flow well. Lauralee's stage performance was like watching like butter,
Flawless. Yeah.
like watching butter melt. It was just like, like it's just
Yeah.
so,
You can see her back, like her quads. Like if you compare like her quads like in the back from like Jen's, like you notice Lauralee's quads.
yeah.
And like that, like you don't want to notice somebody's quads in the back shot in bikini.
Yeah, no quad sweep from the back. And there was, I think
I do really like Jen though, like as a person, I feel like. So I was kind of glad to see that.
yeah.
Um, she's my husband's favorite too. He's
She's
like, he's like, where's that girl in the purple that I always like? I'm like, oh, she's wearing green this year.
Did
He's
you
like, why did she do that?
I don't know if you heard the commentators were talking about, Jen was saying green was her original suit color when she first went, and she was like, I'm going back to the OG. And
For her.
they were like, oh, it worked for her. So, and then
You're confident in. Yeah.
Ashley was in green too. And then they said, they're like, I think green is making a comeback with the bikini suits.
Yeah, Ashley usually does like green or red, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I like purple, but I think she looks great in the green.
Yeah.
It's like an emeraldy kind of green.
Yeah. I prefer to see purples or like teal bluey type suits, just in general for the most part, unless you have something specific that, or some of the darker skin tones look great, and like, some of the yellows and whatnot. But yeah, for the most part, I think you can't go wrong with like teals and blues and purples.
Yeah.
So, but hey, they're Olympians. They can do whatever they want.
Yes, yes. It'll be interesting to see too, like next year, like just at the NPC level, if more girls go green, like
Yeah. It's a trickle down effect. Like they're
yeah,
setting the bar, and everybody wants to be like them. So yeah, bikini was fun, and I love Jen Dory. So yeah. I like a lot of these people are very good ambassadors for the sport. They're very active on social media, which I don't think it makes a difference as far as who wins, but it's nice for following their journey to the stage again throughout the year. So we appreciate it. Yep. All right, Sarah. Oh,
hey.
we we had talked about, because we were talking back and forth so much, we were like, Sarah, we need to go to the Olympia together so that we can
Yes.
discuss.
Did they say Vegas or Orlando, or did they not say yet for next year?
I don't know. I didn't hear about that at all. So
Yeah, I can't remember like if they usually announce it at the end or not, but yeah.
I think within a couple of days they'll come out and say, I think that's usually what happens.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see where it is.
Yeah. I don't know why they switched it back because they only do 1 year? They only did the previous year where they were in
Yeah,
Vegas.
probably like a booking thing, like finances. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard good things about both venues. Like when you're in
Yeah,
Vegas,
I've only been to Orlando. I mean, Orlando is easy to get to, but Vegas is Vegas. I don't know.
Vegas is great, but you have to literally like Uber or drive everywhere because none of the
Yeah.
venues are connected. So
Yeah,
it's,
the convention center, like, I mean, the convention center is huge in Orlando, and then there's a lot of hotels like all down that strip. So
yeah,
I think that makes it convenient.
yeah. But then like the athletes meetings and like different meetings and the expo is at a different spot. And so you end up driving all over the place,
In
which,
Vegas.
mhm,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, which gets really, it's annoying and expensive and, so I think a lot of people didn't like that because of the time change.
If a
Which,
lot of people are East Coast, yeah.
yeah, so we'll see. But
We'll see.
it's always fun to have like somebody to talk to, like, hey, did you see that or whatever,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah, it was fun recapping and doing the play-by-play.
Yeah. Oh, and like Mela Ash popped her top when she walked out doing her,
Oh no, I didn't see that.
yeah,
Oh no.
little wardrobe malfunction, which was quickly remedied, but that's not the first time that's happened either. So
I'm sure. Like the suits are so tiny. Yeah.
yeah. And you don't think about moving in them. So once you get a little bit of lax, if it's like a, a hook twist, like it could easily come
Yeah.
undone. So yeah, very
To
cool.
think about. Okay, this was fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, very cool. All right, Sarah, have a great day. You guys, thanks for listening and watching to another episode of the Women's Fittest. You can find us, you can find us all the places, and remember that healthy looks different on everybody. Have a great day.